Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about adding rational expressions, and we have done this in previous videos or past videos, but the only thing different with this problem is we're not dealing with the same common denominator on both of our rational expressions, okay? So that's going to be an issue because in order to add, right, this is a fraction, in order to add fractions we have to have the same common denominator. Alright, so the first step you want to do here is you want to go ahead and factor if possible. So looking at this problem right here, I noticed that I have a quadratic on the bottom here. So the first step you want to do is go ahead and factor. Alright, so let's go ahead and factor this so we can get a better representation of what is going on here. So I'm just going to rewrite this as x minus 1. And if I were to factor this, you can use the AC method, right? We've talked about this numerous times. Maybe you've gotten better at it and you can just see this. But when we go ahead and factor this, we're simply just going to have x plus 1 and x plus 2. Again, you can use the AC method to do this, and if you need a refresher, go back and look at those videos. Okay, but this is what it's going to look like when we expand it. Okay, put it into its factored form. Right here, okay, we can't do anything, so we're going to rewrite it as plus x over x plus 1. Alright, so looking at my common denominator here, I have an x plus 1 times an x plus 2, and then I just have an x plus 1. I need these common denominators to be the same. Okay? So in order to do that, think for a second what you could do here in order to make both of these common denominators the same. Alright, so take a second, pause the video if you need to, alright, and think about what you could do here to make them the same. Alright, and if you got it, good job. You're going to multiply, okay, this second rational expression by x plus 2. So for example, if I were to multiply this by x plus 2, I have to do it to both the top and the bottom. So I'm going to multiply the bottom as x plus 2, okay? And I'm going to multiply the top by x plus 2. And we multiply both the bottom and the top so that it stays balanced, right? If we just multiplied the bottom here, it would no longer be equivalent, right? So in order to keep its equivalency, we have to do it to both the top and the bottom. Okay, that's important. So now that we know that, we can rewrite this. All right, so let's rewrite what we now have. We're going to have x minus 1 all over x plus 1, x plus 2. And we have plus, well, we'll have x times an x plus 2, right? So you're going to distribute here, so we'll have x squared. And then x times 2 is going to be plus 2x. Okay? Alright, going from here, we know that we just multiply the bottom, so it's going to be x plus 1 and x plus 2. Okay? So from here, we now have the same common denominator. We can add the numerator now. So let's go ahead and erase this part right here. And we can erase this too. Okay, so if we just add the numerator now, we want to go from in order here. So we want to go to the highest exponent, right, to the lowest. So we'll write x squared first, right? So we'll have x squared. Then we can combine our x's, right? We have an x plus a 2x, which is going to be 3x, so plus 3x. And then our constant here, which is going to be minus 1. And again, this will all be over x plus 1 and x plus 2. Okay, and this problem is now done. We can't go any further. All right? We can't cancel anything out. All right? So this problem is now going to be done. Now, if they ask you, right, for any values that are going to make the expression undefined. So if they say, are there any x values that are going to make this expression undefined? You would go to your final answer that we have here. And remember, it's undefined if you divide by 0. Okay, so if you divide by 0, it's going to be undefined. So think about it. Here's our final answer. What would I have to plug in to x here in order to get this whole bottom part to equal 0? Right? if I plug in a -1 here, -1 plus 1 is 0. 0 times this factor that we have here will just be 0. And then we have division by 0, right? So x cannot equal, -1. And x can also not equal, well, let's go here. What would I have to plug into x? It'll be -2, right? -2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times this factor is 0. Division by 0. Right, so -2. Alright, so this would be our final complete answer. Here it is completely done out, and x cannot equal -1 or -2 because it is undefined at those values. So this here would be our final answer. Okay, and that is it.